Chapter 8. The next morning, Angelica got up wearily to take Tommy to school. He still wasn't old enough to get himself up and ready, and she was kind of clinging on to the years where he needed her time and attention. She feared the teenage years when he wouldn't even stick his head around the living room door to greet her on his way back from being out with his friends. The school run was typically Javea. Cars were left at every possible place, and some impossible ones too. Parking wasn't a structured or organised thing in Spain. You stopped where you wanted to be and everyone else had to make their way around you. People weren't being disrespectful, it was just the way it happened there. Angelica parked a few streets away and walked the last part of the journey to school. It was a good habit to be in at any rate. Angelica got some fresh air, Tommy too. Plus, it was much better on the stress levels to stay away from the roads immediately surrounding the school. When Tommy was safely inside, Angelica muttered to herself, "My job here is done." She always felt like that. Her role in the school day was to get him there on time and see him safely over the threshold of the school gates. The next bit was down to Tommy and the teachers. Angelica looked left and saw a woman looking over at her. Angelica had spoken to herself too loudly and had been overheard. She wasn't embarrassed by her words, but they were meant for just her and nobody else. "Morning," the other mum said to Angelica. "Busy, isn't it?" Angelica had seen the woman at the gates a few times, but they had never spoken. "Always. I'm not sure they would have had it any other way, the Spanish. They seem to love a hustle and bustle, even in the middle of nowhere," Angelica responded. She always blurted out multiple thoughts when she first met someone. The nerves were so strong. It embarrassed her. It also broke the ice. "Tell me about it," the other mum replied. Her English accent was strong. Southern, but not from a part of the UK Angelica could pinpoint. Any accent from the south of Midlands was pretty much indistinguishable from any other as far as Angelica could tell. "Talking of crowds, did you see the Moors and Christians festival last night?" the woman asked Angelica. "A bit. It got cut short though," Angelica responded as though she was breaking bad news to someone. "I know. I was backstage. I was the one who designed and made the costumes for everyone. It took months, but it was worth all the effort to see 'em look $1 million out there. It was such a shame that accident happened. I suppose that's what happens when you mix crowds, weapons and animals. It wasn't nice to witness, I can tell you that. You designed and made the costumes. They looked fabulous." "Yes, that's what I do for a living. I thought that making the costumes for the festival would be a good advert for my work." "They looked great. You're very talented." "Thank you so much." "Can I ask a question?" Angelica said. "Of course. Sounds intriguing." "Were all the costumes the same?" "There was one set of costumes for the Moors and one set for the Christians, but all the Moors were the same and all the Christians were the same." "I thought so," Angelica mused. She was already far away from the school. Her thought processes were going into overdrive. She just had about enough wherewithal to thank the woman and say goodbye. But that was it. Angelica's brain was trying to match information that didn't compute.